Yeah. Listen, we get to join the late Anthony Hickox in a very prestigious section of the podcast, you know. First of all, rest in peace to him, of course.
Yeah,
We are me and you are the second people, second and third to actually be part of a lost episode. So this is a
one day.
re-record. Yeah, this is a re-record. A lot of things were said in that last episode, and for some reason, in my head, I must have done something wrong because, like, the editing and like like all this stuff is so automatic to me that I mean, I guess it makes sense that I must have just not done something. I feel like I got a phone call while I was transferring and just didn't pay attention because there's no reason for that file to have been corrupted. I had the video and I was trying to like pull the audio out, and at the end of the day, I was just like,
You
I'm like,
should have just watched the video and overdubbed it.
I should have. I should have completely just. No, I should have just sat and just yeah, like we could have just I guess did like
Like a
the
karate
transcript and
movie
just redone it totally.
of it, or like an
Uh
Italian horror movie,
or we could have just done a
like a
reaction
giallo.
video. We could have done a reaction video to our
Oneself
episode. Yeah, to
being
ourselves.
silent.
Yeah. But I mean whatever. When I thought to myself, I'm like, who gives a shit? Like we'll just talk about everything all over again and just do it better this time.
Maybe it'll
Uh
come back, and people can get it on the box set. The
yes.
one- one-
Totally. All right, man. Red River Podcast, let's knock out this episode. First of all, I do want to say, wow, what an unbelievable, tragic loss for Lou of Sick of It All. Um, you know, his cancer, I don't want to say journey, but like, when you're in a public band and a band that's probably like the Beatles of New York hardcore, like they were, um, it's they do things, they update stuff, and you would see him get up on there, and obviously the chemo was affecting him, and man, it's just weird to have a guy who was like 59 and kind of like the pillar or one of the pillars of like New York hardcore or hardcore in general, just because they had such crossover appeal. I would often say I was never really a hardcore guy. My friends were more hardcore people, like Scott to you, basically, where like they
Totally.
were, that was their life, like they were about it. And it's such a, like, it means so much to them that it's almost like, I, I don't want to like make pretend that it means as much to me as it did to them because I feel like that's insulting for the people that, that's their shit. But Sick of It All was one of those bands that I was always mention. I would say Sick of It All, VOD, and Refused were like three hardcore bands that like permeated into, through my hip hop and like Lemonheads bubble.
Mhm.
And yeah, I can't say enough about that guy and the performances. And they were just like this machine that would just put out these albums after albums. And it was just like
Quality too.
as
Even the
good
later
as it
work,
gets. Yeah.
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 Yeah, I'm the same as you. Even though I was in a hardcore band, like it wasn't always my first thing, I just would drift in and out of scenes and shit like that and stuff. But Scott, Jeff, all those guys, Sick of It All, that was the shit. And that was actually they were kind of a gateway to me to like, oh, this is I like I want to play this like Blood, Sweat, and No Tears.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
like really had an effect on me. And again, I wouldn't, the same thing. I wouldn't disrespect everyone else that was really, but I mean, the outpouring of love for this guy,
Yeah.
I mean, touched a lot of people.
100%. Like you just see it in everyone that grew up on him or was a peer of his, or even like Metallica, like all these people like on that thread because they were the standard. They really were the standard of just like this band that just put out monster albums, and their fucking live set was never anything short of just fucking insanity and just like so good. So pretty wild
Yeah.
to think of him being gone. So Another guy, that guy Glenn Hansard, right? Is that his name? Did you know that guy?
Uh, no, who's that?
Let me look. Let me say his name properly. Um, yeah, Glenn Hansard. Um, I just remember him from the Commitments movie, and
An actor?
yeah, he died in a motorcycle accident. He was also in that John Carney's first movie called Once, which everyone seems to talk about. I just haven't seen it. I saw the movie after, which was Begin
Uh,
Again, but I'm a big John Carney fan and I love the Commitments. You remember the Commitments, right? That
of course, yeah.
yeah. Say it once,
Yeah, I
say it
never saw
loud.
once either.
Black and
I
proud.
recognize his face.
I love that. Like he's like talking
Yeah.
about, the Irish are the black people of Europe or whatever he was saying. It was just
Oh, he was
so,
in Power Ballad that you just saw too, right?
yeah. I
Yeah.
think he might be in all of the John Carney movies.
The
Um,
Commitments once. A lot of stuff as a composer
Sing
on his
Street.
IMDb. Not on Sing Street.
Oh, he's not on
Let's
Sing
see what.
Street?
No, he was in the. He's in the music department of it. So he did something on all his
Okay.
films, but he's
So
not listed as an actor. But
no, no. Then that's what it is. It's probably because he's credited as a songwriter.
yeah.
So all his movies have like unbelievable music, man. It's just I can't say enough about it. I'll go to Power Ballad. I saw that movie. Do you know the premise?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I thought it was just, so funny. Paul Rudd plays this like wedding singer and he lives in Ireland. Um, and he is like he used to be a musician and then I guess he like met his wife and just like stayed in Ireland, had kids, and he was a songwriter. But songwriting doesn't pay the bills like for most of us. So he's just doing the wedding singer thing and he's got a band and he meets up with Nick Jonas and they have a really fun, I guess Nick or whatever his character is. He also plays like a pop star in the movie and kind of like a pop star that's kind of like, on the downside, on the downslide, and they write a song together. No, they don't write a song together. Basically, what happens is he takes this idea from Paul Rudd's character, and then later on, that's how the movie continues, where it's like Paul Rudd hears this song and he's like, wait a minute, that's like my verse and chorus. And that's basically like the beginning of the movie. So it's just this like stolen piece of music that was, like taken by the Nick Jonas character. But it's just great. Really like a lot of heart, like all those John Carney movies. Begin Again, which I love. Flora and Son, which has Bono's daughter. I didn't even know she was an actress. She's the main actor. And a Power Ballad, and then he has like a anthology series on Prime with a lot of like great actors, like everyone from like Tina Fey to Anne Hathaway, and it's just great, good stuff.
I got to
Uh,
see more of his catalog.
yeah, it's just so
I
music
miss so.
centric that it just like
I
speaks
love
to
Sing
me.
Street.
I didn't see that, so I didn't see Once in Sing Street. Those are the two I didn't see.
Once I have not, I know people love it, but Sing Street's a good movie.
Yeah. But anyway, I know we were going to talk about Evil Dead, Evil Dead Burn. I saw it twice already. And I think the biggest knock that I hear from people, because I talked to Rob G and a few people that just feel like it doesn't feel like an Evil Dead movie, right? So I know I loved it, and you said you weren't crazy about it. So like, why weren't you crazy about it?
Um, I really didn't like the actors. Uh, I didn't like I a lot of the complaints about the humor of the Evil Dead. We spoke about this. Like, the humor's been gone since it's been rebooted. I don't care that, that Bruce Campbell thing was one thing. This is the other. I'm here for all the Evil Dead always, that one of the best horror TV shows ever made. The franchise can't do wrong on my eyes. Uh, I liked Rise. I know you didn't like
Mm.
Rise, and then we're kind of flip-flopped on this one. But I just didn't like the Deadites. I didn't like the um I didn't need the trauma undertones of the marriage thing kind of. I didn't like Evil Dead dabbling in that kind of the moment thing, I guess would be what it is. But the gore was great. The kills were good. If you always give me that shit, I'm gonna watch the whole movie. But it did, and I'm gonna see this again because it's a fucking Evil Dead movie
So
to
so
make sure
it's
I feel that way. But that's my initial take.
so basically character driven, that stuff missed with you. But like the
Yeah,
gore and the violence, hit with you. Now, for
always.
me, I don't know why, but I bought into all that stuff, right? I bought into the characters for some reason. It just felt like maybe the casting worked for me. I thought the main actress was really good. Um, the kid from Iran, like all of that stuff worked for me. The dad was like super creepy, looking like a weird ass Bill Burr. All basically everything that you didn't work for you worked for me, which is strange, right? But that's how it
Yeah.
goes. And I bought into it, but at no point in this movie, no point, zero, did this feel like an Evil Dead movie
Mm.
to me. It's just a name. But going back to the Bruce Campbell era, like you can't like he's like Alexa, how old is Bruce Campbell? Eh, younger than I thought he was.
I didn't hear it. What'd you say?
68. So,
All
but
right.
still, like, that guy is so fucking charismatic. You hear him on a podcast. I just heard him recently. My brother sent me a link for, they were talking about like, a clip of the Ash versus Evil Dead versus Jason thing, like with the Deadites and all that other stuff. That guy is just really entertaining. Like he is, I don't even want to say a movie star because I don't look at him as like like I guess he's a movie star, but he's just like a guy that you hear talk and you're like, man, this dude is fascinating, which is why his game show thing that came through Patchogue was great. You're never going to top that. You're never going to have another character in an Evil Dead movie that's going to rival Bruce Campbell in Army of Darkness or those Evil Dead movies. And Ash versus the Evil Dead, the TV show, that's as good as it gets.
It was so much fun.
He got to stretch out his legs. Lee Majors was great as his dad. Um, his two sidekicks, was it Pablo and I forgot the
Yeah,
girl's name.
her name is
Yeah.
escaping me, but the whole cast was great. A lot of
Oh,
fun.
so much fun because he was able to really kind of stretch out in episodic TV, basically. So you're
Sure.
never going to get that. So now you had the remake, which is just pure brutality. 2013, I think it was like Fede Alvarez.
Hmm.
I mean, man, when that girl sliced her like that, that's an A and B switch. That's it. You're never gonna like you have your comedic Bruce Campbell universe, and that's great. You have the first two Evil Dead movies, you have Army of Darkness, and you have the TV show. What the fuck more do you want? Like that's enough to
Yeah.
fucking watch over and over again. Then you go into different territories, and the connective tissue is really just the book, right? And the recordings.
Yeah. Which was another problem I had with this movie was I thought they added some story like the grandfather and the cult thing. Like I felt they were introduced and never developed. And that's partially maybe why didn't feel like an Evil Dead. It kind of got away from a Necronomicon kind of a thing, you know what I mean? And it's a franchise is going farther because, once they left the cabin after the remake, you're going to get further and stuff. I hope it doesn't
You're gonna get
stray too far,
no, you're
but
gonna get further, and I guess the flip side to that is, it's like how many times are you gonna tell the Superman story or the Batman story? And I
yeah.
guess like yeah, like we already know the folklore behind the tapes and what it means. So I guess instead of them like repeating it and like going over, it's like, oh, they just let it hang and like if you know type thing for sure, right?
I just hope it doesn't like become like the franchise doesn't go further away and it's like just becomes an IP thing. Oh, we got an Evil Dead. We have the Evil Dead IP. And like, where do they go? I mean, I wouldn't be mad at Back to the Cabin part, part whatever. But what you were saying about Bruce Campbell too, like when I used to go to the Monster Cons a lot, the Monster Mania specifically, which I always like better than Chiller because you got those panels where you could sit and ask them questions and whatnot. But the merch rooms were always cleared out. Everybody's packed into the one auditorium. Bruce by himself at the table. You could hear a pin drop in there, and always on. Everybody's laughing, fucking just
Yeah,
he's one of a kind.
he really like just he's one of those guys that when he talks, like he's just there's no dull moment. There's not like oh, this guy's like long-winded and stuff like that.
You know what
Um,
else about him? Like, cause he's such a talented actor. He's got the chiseled chin. He's got a Hollywood face that whatever, but he's
yeah.
just always a little too weird to ever be like the guy in like some regular, like he's got the chops for it, but there's just something odd about it. And that's kind of like why we love him in the horror community,
Absolutely.
forever. Yeah.
Just recently, speaking of the chin, our buddy Rob G, for the Icons of Fright podcast. Did you get a
Mhm.
chance to listen to that episode that I sent you with Howard Berger?
No, I didn't.
That is a real like Rob had Howard Berger from K&B on, and they talked about so much shit, like the beginning of K&B, Kurtzman, Nicotero and Berger, like when they started their special effects company. I think they all met under John Beekler and stuff. A lot of cool stories, and they talked about Evil Dead too, and how like Sam, when Ash turned evil, like he's like, I want a bigger, like I think he said a witchy chin or something, like a bigger chin and a bigger face and stuff like that. So when you
Yeah.
see him coming out of that puddle, it's hilarious. And also, there's a fun story in there about like I think Sam Raimi took everyone from Evil Dead to go see Aliens 2 or Aliens. And then the flip side was James Cameron took Bill Paxton to go see Evil Dead 2. Like he like pulled up
Wow.
yeah, he tells you stories and it's really, really cool how they were both like just like blown away by each other's movies and stuff. And those are like the two, I mean, you can't get better than Evil Dead 2 and Aliens for sure.
I get
Uh, but going back to Rise, I saw The Mummy, right? So
it.
that's so like here we are, right? We have Rise, we have Evil Dead Burn, and we have The Mummy. And it's like aside from like those little pieces in Burn where you have that audio, like that's really all there is to connect these things, right? It could be pretty much anything else. You could edit out
Well,
that
Easter eggs here and there.
yeah, but I'm saying you could edit out that, like the little it adds up to like 5 minutes maybe of like the recording and like the fucking book and shit like that, and it could be something completely different.
Hmm.
Which is when I saw The Mummy, Lee Cronin's The Mummy.
Of
You were
course.
like, you're like, who the fuck is Lee
The
Cronin?
balls on this guy.
Yeah. You're like,
Seriously.
let me get my name up on this. I did Evil Dead Rise. I don't know if you know that.
Coppola does that shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what?
He made The Godfather at the very least, one, two, and
I
three.
know.
Yeah. But The Mummy
I
kind
was gonna
of
miss this movie totally till you said check it out.
well because of Alaska and Zilla from
Right.
the Call Out Culture podcast. We're in a text thread, and I think it was Zilla who first watched, maybe one of the two, and they were like, "Yo, The Mummy!" Like they started watching, like Mummy's pretty good, and then they kept, as the movie went on, and I'm like, I don't want to see The Mummy. I don't care about The Mummy. I don't give a one fuck about The Mummy. I see a fucking like a kid, and I'm like, I don't care about
Yeah.
kid. Yo, I don't care. And then by the end, get us, yo, and I'm like, fine. It's easy when something's up on HBO, where even if you don't, you just, all right, let me just put the shit on. So I watched it, and I start watching it, and somewhere along the way, like maybe when when the girl is kind of like when the young daughter, it's basically right. So like there's this family, they're living in Egypt, and something happens to their daughter, she disappears, and then like years later she pops up. They find her in some fucking tomb wrapped like a mummy, right? But like the thing that really affected this movie for me was how gross everyone looked.
Yeah.
They made normal people like that. This lady looked kind of bizarre. They made the daughter look the same way. And there was a lot of like gross at moments, which I was kind of surprised by. And then as the movie went on, I thought to myself, like, okay, you basically took everything you did in Evil Dead Rise and just called it the Mummy now. Because
Right.
I mean, aside from her being found in the tomb, like this was just kind of like a curse. So like, I don't know, like it was fine,
Yeah.
but like
It,
somewhere along the way for you, like when you're watching The Mummy, like when did you realize like, okay, this isn't terrible and it's kind of gross? The toenails?
uh, yeah. That you jog my memory right there. Yeah, that was probably when. And this movie's basically like if you took the gross or gore shit out of it, it would I wouldn't even get through fucking I don't know how
Yeah,
much
yeah,
of
yeah,
it.
yeah. You're right.
You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean? Like you
yeah,
gotta, but we've always said that. Like,
yeah.
yo, horror, you might, half
Yeah,
step the plot and fucking do this and that
yeah.
actor sucks and shit. But if you start like getting body count and like
It's
some really disgusting shit, a lot of shit is forgivable
it's
in
the
our
reason
eyes.
I could watch Return of the Living Dead 3 over and over again.
We'll be there.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they had that, but because otherwise it just in that all those like possessed kid kind of trope
Yo,
movies that
the
I
movie
don't
ended.
not made for me.
The movie ended like Ninja 3: The Domination. It was just like pure madness. You're like, what is
Yeah.
even going on right now? Like it doesn't but there were some really gross parts, and the thing that, you're a parent, right? So I could definitely sympathize with someone who lost their kid, finds their kid, and the happiness that they feel only to
Mhm.
see that their kid is just, you know, worse than Gage from fucking Pet
Way
Cemetery.
worse.
Way
Way
worse.
worse.
Yeah.
Gage was still sort of cute, at
Yeah.
least. Like this thing's like, you know,
Yeah, this thing
that
looked
dad might have to
like
be
a
like, yo, I'm going out for cigarettes.
yeah.
And,
Daddy be back.
Papa was a Rolling Stone.
That's right. This little girl looked like one of the covers of like a Dinosaur Jr. like that fucking like drawing. Her eyes were like far apart. Like I'm like,
Oh my
bro,
God.
who
That's
is this fucking person? Right? But
yeah.
like it. So these three movies, it's just I don't know.
Way too long too. I mean,
Yeah,
they could have edited. I think it was what was it like 2 hours, 20 minutes
it
or
was
some
like
shit.
2:15.
Yeah, like like a lot of people I've heard like if you say something's too long, they're like, oh, like the attention spans. No, and editing is an art form. You know what I mean? And sometimes it makes the story tighter. There's not when there's things that are unnecessary in there, it freaks up the flow. Like sometimes, like it didn't need to be that. Like it's got no reason to be that long.
I'm gonna switch gears. We'll leave the Evil Dead universe there. I just watched a movie like that, Redux. Did you hear about that one yet?
No,
It finally you on Hulu.
you
Um,
posted about that. Yeah, I
yeah,
haven't.
it's a pretty interesting thing, kind of like low budget, but this woman lost her child to like a child predator, and she found this thing that she's able to travel through the multiverse, and every universe she goes to, she's looking for a universe where her daughter is still alive. She's trying to find that. And anytime she finds out that the daughter's still dead, she just goes and finds that guy and kills him all over again.
Oh
So
wow.
it's pretty interesting, right? Done by two brothers. The main actress is the sister, so it's like the three, the two brothers and the sister making the movie. Um, but it really starts off great. Then the editing, where you're like, okay. And then the last third, you're like, okay, cool. Like if I could just like cut the middle part out, But they did a lot with the budget that they had, and it's a really interesting sci-fi and multiverse kind of like revenge story where you're like, yeah, like you're basically just going through looking to see which multiverse your daughter's still alive in, and it's pretty good. I think I'd recommend,
All right, check
with
it
the
out.
with the slight edit for sure, because it was like probably like a buck 50, probably could have been like a buck 30.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with chopping stuff that doesn't make it go anywhere. And just to back my point too, I saw Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, long
Yeah.
film, but it
Okay.
didn't, it doesn't, I enjoyed it. Like I wasn't, it didn't feel like that length because when it's good, it's good. And when stuff's necessary, it's necessary. But it's not a movie for you. Not into the swords and sandals, except for Clash of the Titans, right? 1983 version. Um, but the effects on the monsters, the creatures, the Titans were so good. Um, I know it's getting a lot of shit and all the woke fucking argument or whatever. Elliot Page is in the movie about like 3 minutes, maybe.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what the fuck people are talking about, but Matt Damon's great. But again, if that historical period kind of thing isn't your cup of tea, I think I told you I can make you like an hour super cut of the battles with the Titans and you'd be entertained, but you probably wouldn't
You're right. Yeah,
like
yeah.
the other parts. Yeah.
So just Tuesday, um, I was home. We practiced on Monday because we had the show yesterday. And Karen's like, I really want to go see the Odyssey. And I was like, fuck. I'm like, really? Okay, fine. We'll go see the Odyssey. Fine. I didn't want to, but in my head, I'm thinking like, all right, I'll have popcorn. I'm like, Chris Nolan is a pretty competent filmmaker.
I hope you get the
Um,
free refills on that popcorn.
like at that point, like I wouldn't mind probably getting up, missing 10 minutes, but she wasn't feeling well. And then that's when I ended up watching Redux. So I dodged that bullet.
Gotcha. You're safe.
Yeah. I don't know.
And another movie that felt way too long because I wasn't I remember I was gonna see this in the theaters just because of the movie pass. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't even entertain it. And you were like, yeah, you were even making me second guess my decision, The Masters of the Universe.
Mm,
And I was like, I didn't end up going. I was like, yeah, whatever, because I'm like 220. I'm like, that seems excessive. I'm like, I don't know if I want to sit through that shit. So it's up on Prime now.
yeah.
I grew up on that fuck. Though I
Yep.
had all those fucking figures in the Castle Grayskull. That was my wheelhouse as a kid. So hey, nostalgia wise, let me see it. But man, it was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It was
It
stupid.
just seems unrecognizable at this point. I think like Red Letter Media did like a piece on it where they're just like, well, who the fuck is this for? Because like He-Man was a thing for like a couple of years in like the mid 80s. And
Yeah.
it's like you had this movie in 87, which even by then it was too late to put something out. And so it's like, who is this movie for now? Because the people that would watch it have kids and those kids probably don't care. Like, I
Well,
just
they're
didn't,
hoping that, with they got the IP, it was successful at one time, new generation,
was it
parents grew
successful
up on
though?
it. What, the back in the day?
I mean, maybe the cartoon, maybe. I guess
Oh, I don't mean the film. I meant just the franchise as a whole, the toys, whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? So like a parent older takes their kid to the movies, maybe it pops with a young generation. We'll see what we can sell off out of it. You know what I mean? It's a big like the whole thing's a fucking he even makes a reference one time. He's sitting at a restaurant because he gets sucked out of Eternia, goes to Earth, which that trope is just so he's like trying to tell everyone where he's from and they think he's crazy and shit. And he's like, let me explain it to you. If the if this like cup was attorney or whatever, and this Coke, like he pulls out like a Coke classic and pours it into the thing. Whenever I see shit like that, I'm like, Coke paid for that. Like, I'm
yeah.
like, this is just going to be one of those fucking things. And they really wanted to be campy and kitschy and wink, wink, we're in on the joke. He-Man, it's kind of a funny name, whatever. It wanted to be Flash Gordon.
Mm.
Like it even uses Queen's, the Masters of the Universe song that was from the Highlander movie. Because at one point I'm like, damn, because even the instrumentals sound like the Queen sort of things. And I'm like, is that fucking, who the fuck sounds like Freddie Mercury? I don't even remember that song.
Yeah,
And they had the song for Highlander and they use it in the film. But Flash Gordon was a lot of fucking fun, Like
it
this
was.
wasn't.
Yeah, I but when I watched Flash Gordon, like I was the age to watch it, I guess. Like I just don't know, like if you're a kid watching this, like I don't know. I
I
put it
don't
on.
think a young generation would resonate with Flash Gordon whatsoever, but
No, no,
you
no,
know.
no, no, for sure. And I put it on for like 10 minutes. I maybe I'll watch it again.
No,
I wasn't in the mood. Like I was just like
you said that the beginning of it was like you weren't into it, right? Like the
I,
first 10 minutes. That's the best shit in the
yeah.
movie, bro.
Yeah, it just doesn't like I don't know. Like and it was I blame Rob Link. Shout out to Rob Link. He was just like, "Yo, that's the sleeper hit of the year." He's like, "I thought it was gonna
What?
be yeah."
Oh,
You
I
got to
gotta
bring it
light
up
him
to him
up
Sunday.
someday. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, yo, just for that, we're watching in
Sleeper hit of
87.
the year. The
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah, yeah. I don't. I mean, who knows? Maybe he was on peyote when he said that. No idea.
Yeah, that shit was not good. That was not
Um.
it.
So I don't know if we said it in the lost episode, but I'll say it again. A movie you mentioned, which was Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. I
Yeah.
watched it. It's on Hulu as well. Loved it. Very good stuff. Reminded me, speaking of multiverse, it reminded me of Everything Everywhere All at Once. Sam Rockwell rules. Um, really cool sci-fi movie. Just world building and like almost like Time Bandits in a way.
Hmm.
Mixed in, it was just like really cool science, like a really norm, just like a really classic feeling sci-fi movie that
Yeah.
sometimes we don't get. I thought they did a really good job. I don't even know who fucking directed it or made it,
Me neither.
but they did a really good job doing it. So big fan of that. Very much recommend that.
I saw a couple of comedies, Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass, which is basically all the people from the state, the sketch comedy in the 90s. I don't remember what year that came out, but
The State?
it's, yeah,
Yeah, it's like 90s, I think. Yeah.
um, basically, a couple's talking about their celebrity sex past. The one guy, yeah, I won't get into specifics. I think I went through them the last time, but if you want a goofy, silly, slapsticky kind of funny, like it's got. I laughed out loud a few times and stuff, and that's all you can hope for because the era of the broad comedy, the post Apatow seems to have gone away. So you get some of these niche things, but when it's up on streaming, I recommend a watch. It's funny. I also saw a movie, Maddie's Secret, by John Early, who I don't know. Did you ever watch Search Party?
The
That
TV
show?
show? No.
Yeah.
I know it,
Okay.
yeah, but
He was really funny in it, but he wrote and directed it. It's basically like a Lifetime movie kind of spoof of a food influencer. Very sarcastic. It's funny. And then what else did I see? The latest Jackass, which is a lot of clips and old stuff. It's not as good as the other films. It's reached its time to move on, but definitely leaves you with a nostalgic feeling if you've been watching these jerk offs for all these years.
100%. And the 4.5 thing on Netflix, which I thought it was just going to be like a rehash of
Mhm.
things. There was a lot of new shit in there, and I
Yeah,
fucking laughed, and it was really fucking funny. So if you
people
want to
getting hit
see,
in the nuts, always funny.
yeah, but it was like I can't recommend it more. Jackass 4.5 before you watch the new one that doesn't seem to be hidden because no one's really talking about it. So
Yeah,
no one
kind of
mentioned
came
it.
and went. It'll
Came
get
in.
another, like when it goes up on Netflix or whatever. I'm sure a lot of
Yeah.
people weren't. rush into the theaters and stuff. Oh, and
Uh,
how could I forget? I saw The
the
Invite,
Invite,
which is
yeah.
going to be one of my favorite movies of the year. Olivia Wilde directed. First movie I ever seen she directed. Very good. Seth Rogen, Olivia Wilde, Penelope Cruz, and a awesome Ed Norton, who I haven't seen this good in a long time. Um, uh, two couples in an apartment building. They invite their neighbors. One he's Rogen's not really into them coming over. She is. Some marriage issues, whatnot. The To say where it goes or get into any more specifics would do it a disservice. I
Yeah.
just have it's so well written, so well acted. It's basically four people in an apartment, and it's just you know so by great dialogue and great performances. Very simple formula. And it's great. That and the drama is probably my two favorite.
She, I know she did Booksmart. She directed that.
Did she do that? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
I think that might have been
Okay.
her first.
You
Before
might
that,
be
I think
right.
she did some music videos. But Booksmart, I think I remember was like seeing her name on there. So, but good for her. Everyone seems to be all about this movie. My cousin texted me yesterday. She was like, "Hey, did you see The Invite yet?" And I'm like, "No." So, also I know she was in one of the episodes of The Studio. So her and Seth Rogen have a working relationship. So,
When Karen gets better and wants to see the Odyssey, throw the invite in there. You should
okay,
see that.
I
She'll
will.
like it. It's good.
Okay. The AMC Plus has one of our favorite movies, Over Your Dead Body.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they just put that up on there.
Oh cool.
Samara Weaving, Jason Segel, like this couple, a married couple who are having issues and they realize that they're they go to this, romantic get together or, getaway and they're both trying to kill each other and the movie goes from there. Uh, there's some, like Juliette Lewis, Timothy Olyphant, and Keith Jardine from the UFC is on there. I talked to him Tuesday. Like I
Hmm.
texted him and I was like, "Yo, I'm glad that this movie's streaming, and I love the Diner movie. Did you watch that movie yet?
I
Kill
haven't
Me
seen it
Again?
yet. Nah.
Yeah, that's a cool time loop
I
movie.
think it's on Tubi.
I think it's on Prime.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I texted him and he was just like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "Let's just do it." So I just, anytime he tells me that, like I should just jump on the scheduling right away, but I'm like usually busy. And like the thing with him is he's in Cali and he probably doesn't have a normal schedule. So I'm sure he'll be like, "Can we do Tuesday at 2 p.m. or something?" And we're not, you know what I mean? So it's like, all right, I got to figure out 18 other dates to shoot at you. But he was like, yeah, he wanted to do the episode. So I'm thinking like, let's do it. We can give him his
All right.
flowers for those. So yeah, if you want to check that other
Yeah, I'll
movie
get
out,
on that shit.
Kill Me Again, which is this serial killer that goes to this diner and kills everyone, leaves, and then he realizes that he's stuck in this time loop and has to kill everyone over and over again.
Oh shit. All right.
Yeah.
I'm on
Uh,
it.
yeah. Samara Weaving is doing lots of work because I finally watched Caroline.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
Okay, yeah, that's Adam. God, what the fuck? He's got those three names, this motherfucker. Adam
Pretty name motherfucker.
hmm, Snack Shack Adam. His name is Adam Reimer. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he did Dinner in America and Snack Shack, two very, very good movies. Carolina is Samara Weaving and his boy Kyle Gallner again. And
Mhm.
it's so like if you watch this movie, you don't know what year it is, which is really cool, right? So it's the cars are from the 70s. The background seems to be like 80s, early 90s. The outfits almost feel like the 70s.
Nice.
So but there's no technology involved in anything. So you're definitely not in that universe. And this movie is kind of like Bonnie and Clyde, but their chemistry together is so good. It's like Bonnie and Clyde, Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway,
Mhm.
but also with a touch of uh, true romance. Like and he keeps wearing those shirts, so I think definitely like an homage to that. And it's just this like couple that meets. He's like trying to rip off a place where she works, and she notices it, and she goes out and says something to him, and he gives her back the money. It was like $10, nothing. He did that thing. It's not a big part of the movie. It's in the as soon as you hit play. Where you go to like a gas station and you're like, hey, can I get change for this? And then you do that whole swap thing. It's like, oh, you know what? Actually, let me get a bigger bill, and then you end up with like an extra $10. I
Mhm.
remember this because Cheers would have this. Would Harry the Hat, Harry Anderson would go in and he would do it to Coach all the time. He would be like, "Hey, Coach, could I get a beer?" And then he's like, "All right, that'll be a buck." I couldn't believe it was a buck because I watched the clip again.
Yeah.
And then he gives him. He's like, "Oh, you know what? I want that 10 back. So here, take this. Just give me back a 20, whatever." It's a funny trick, and Karen was watching the movie with me, and I had to rewind it 3 times. She's like, why can't I understand what he's doing? And I tried to explain it to her. It's pretty good, but it's a really good movie. I don't think it's anywhere near as good. This is like his Jackie Brown,
Hmm.
where Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction were the other two movies. This is just more of like, I guess it's like kind of straightforward,
Okay.
but visually it's fantastic. The soundtrack, Jason Isbell is all over the soundtrack. It's really cool, and it's just kind of like this like more of chemistry piece between them two, and like kind of like wanting to leave your town and be more than what you are, and then falling in love with this bad boy type story. So, but
I'm on
Carolina,
it because I
Carolina.
love his work,
Yeah,
and both those actors are two of my current favorites right now.
that's right. What do you got?
I don't know. I think I
Tell me
got to
about that
everything.
Nirvana.
Oh, Nirvana, the band, the movie.
Yeah, I saw that it was up
I
on
saw it in
Hulu.
the theaters a long time ago, and it
Yeah,
hasn't hit streaming for like a while. But
it's on Hulu now.
yeah, you got to check it out. It's a very original comedy. Um, I got to rewatch it myself.
Yeah, I saw like the trailer and it was kind of like I don't even it was just like this alternate universe or something.
Yeah, I guess there was a YouTube series that or something that blew up because I think Stephen Dolfo was telling me about it, which
Yeah, he's tapped in.
yeah, uh, I can't speak on exact parts of it though because it's been like I said, I think I saw it at the very beginning of the year.
Okay.
But it's funny, it's unique.
All right. Well, last night I got to shake Frank Bello's hand. That's pretty cool.
That's funny you say that. I'm listening to his book right now.
Are you?
Yeah, where did you see him?
I played the band played this place called Silver Lining Lounge, same
Hmm.
place we did the co-defendant show at. Which is like on Bowery, kind of like across the street from the old CB's and Bowery Ballroom. So we played this dude's birthday party, Scott Lips, who's just he was like a drummer. He was drummer, podcast guy. I think he works for like Spin Magazine. Super cool guy, just like a music guy. His podcast is called Lips Service. And I guess he's friends with him. So he just showed up to the birthday party as I was talking to someone. And this dude walks in, and I stopped talking to the person I was talking to immediately.
Obviously.
And I was like, "What's up, Frank?" And I just shook his hand. He's like, "Big fan." He's like, "Hey, man, how you doing?" And I'm like, "That's all I got." It was like super cool, super nice and normal. And that's it. And I went back to talking to my friend. And Have you checked out the last two Anthrax songs?
Yeah, the last one sounded like a black metal track.
Yeah.
I like that they're trying some shit, you know?
Yeah. The video was like pretty wild too.
I didn't see the video.
You got to see the video because it's pretty
Okay.
involved. The Edge of Perfection. Um, right, I'm pretty sure that's what the name of the video. So they got a record coming out. Um, I know they're doing the Iron Maiden show, right? It's like
Hmm.
Iron Maiden, Megadeth, and Anthrax doing some dates together, which is cool, right? Uh, I just don't like yeah, I guess that's cool. I could only imagine what they're charging for tickets though, right?
Uh, with they're in Jersey, right? Is that where they're playing?
Jersey, yeah, because I think Anthrax is only a part of like some of it. Like I forget, there's
Yeah,
like a mixture of things. And to me, like the whole catch to me is watching Megadeth, Anthrax, and Iron Maiden.
sure. Yeah,
And
I didn't eat. I looked in the tickets a while ago because they announced the Maiden were announcing their dates like a way in advance as normal. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like I'd love to go to the show, but just everything costs so much fucking money. You really gotta like be picky, you know.
yeah,
And I'd
especially
love to
now,
see them, but
now that you got a now that you got a son that likes to go to shows.
yeah.
So
And just shows that like, you know, I can't even double dip anymore because he's got his own tastes and his own book and whatever he wants to do. So
yeah.
otherwise I'd be like, oh, we're gonna go see Maiden, you know?
Oh
Now it's
yeah,
like,
let's do it, Dad.
nah. I did his first show ever was Maiden. I took him to at the USB arena. But yeah, I
Oh,
don't know.
when was
I love
that?
that they're out there. That was the last time they came around. That was
Okay, yeah. We were there. We were there.
yeah,
They had
which was
like
great.
the plane, like the Aces High plane.
Yeah.
I think it was like a good mixture of old and new.
I was glad he got to see him. I was glad to see them again. And I'd always love to see him. I just don't know if I feel like going. And Megadeth, their latest record, which I think is their last album, I think is
It is, yeah.
fantastic. Like it's one of their best records, I think, in years.
In years, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and this is
And I've
it.
seen
Like it,
Anthrax a lot too.
y- yeah. I think what it is, it's like it's always like the special, like it just seems like a fun thing to do. You know, you hear those three bands, and it's hard not to think of like being younger and being like,
Sure.
oh, I'm gonna go see these bands, and it's fun. You know, and you'll go, and everyone looks so old. I'm talking about the crowd. It's just like
Yeah.
everyone's just like,
All over.
yeah,
Yeah.
completely just like, wow. All right, here we
Listen,
go.
if a free ticket slides my way, I ain't gonna be mad at it.
All right, you know, I'm just throwing it out there for the RRP listeners. Hit us up on the Patreon.
I am
Um,
gonna go to the Black Label show at Jones Beach though, with Suicidal Down and Lamb of
it,
God.
what's the deal with that? Is that like 2 days?
Uh, 2 days. Well, they're playing a date in like Pennsylvania or something, and they're doing a date in Long Island.
Okay,
So it's
so
only one day. It's just two dates.
I
These
wasn't sure.
festivals. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, so there
So
has to be 2 stages then.
I don't know what. Yeah, I mean, I would think so. I
There's
mean,
a
I saw like
lot of bands.
Gigantor there at Jones Beach. They had a stage like out past the concessions, like when you pass the concession stand,
Yeah.
and some of the bands like I think Life of Agony was out there, Symphony X, shit like that, and then other stuff was going, but it was going on at the same time and stuff. I know they had three of the cover bands or two. There's an AC/DC Bon Scott era one. There's a Van Halen one, and Guns N' Roses one.
Let me
Um,
look. Berserk. Yeah, so you
and Zach Sabbath is playing as well too.
Berserkus. All right, so let me look. Yeah, this is like a big thing. Berserkus returns featuring Lamb of God. They're actually above Black Label, but I guess it's the Black Label party. So Lamb of God, Black Label Society down, which is cool. Suicidal
That's a pro
Tendencies.
move though. Playing before the last band, I think is better.
Yeah. Zach Sabbath, so double duty. Dark Chapel.
Double
Um,
paycheck for the homie.
This is what the hell is this? Van Halen?
They're a Van Halen like a tribute band, I believe.
And
And
then
there's a Guns N'
Bonfire?
Roses
Yeah.
one.
Oh yeah, use
That's a
your
Bon Scott era AC/DC. Because they were doing that
interesting.
with Zach Sabbath, like when they had the Iron Maidens. That was kind of a
Wow.
thing that they were doing.
They're
That Led
playing.
Zeppelin one.
Oh, so the 29th too. Man, I might go to this then.
Yeah, man.
Saturday. This is the same night as the Silent Majority show, but they're also adding a second date for Silent Majority. So my girlfriend wants to go see Movie Life the day after. Yeah, this might be cool for sure. I know the Iron Maidens are playing Sunday.
Hmm.
Oh no, not Sunday. What is August 1st? Is that Sunday?
That's
No, that's
Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah, the Iron Maidens are playing 89 North. I think me and Dave are gonna go out there.
Are they?
Yeah,
Oh shit.
yeah. So if you want to
Let me
go,
know about that
tap in for sure. I don't
because
know who
that's
else is
fucking
gonna
right
show.
around the corner
I
for me.
figured, yeah, yeah.
I could be down for that. They're fucking if
No,
you
no,
ever get a
yeah.
chance to see the Iron Maidens and you haven't, oh my God, they're fucking fantastic.
Big fan. The last time we saw I don't remember where we were. Maybe it was in Queens. Maybe it was like Blackthorn 51 or somewhere else. But we saw them with the Halford, the Judas Priestess. So it
Yeah.
was the Iron Maidens and Judas Priestess, and they were great. The singer of Judas Priestess is like this like huge, like really like good looking like black chick, and
Mhm.
she fucking killed. Like it was so cool. I'm like, you're fucking smoking this so hard right now, man. You know, they both do a really good job.
Some of these tribute acts really good fucking time, man. Get to hear these songs in their peak when the band themselves might have. I'm not saying Iron Maiden particularly, but like other bands, a Motley Crue tribute act would probably be a good time, probably better than going to see the real Motley Crue at this point.
Well, oh wow, yeah. Did you hear
You
Tommy
know,
Lee on Billy Corgan's podcast?
I read some quote he had about Mick Mars or something.
Yeah.
Um,
It was just funny.
but why?
I don't know. It's just funny to like to hear, Billy Corgan, I love the Pumpkins, but he is such a douchebag. Like he's just such a douche.
So bad.
Like he's like every episode he goes like this to someone. He's like, I hope you don't take this the wrong way. And I'm just thinking like, here it comes. What are you gonna say? Motley Crue
You can
ripped off
tell
us.
when he's sitting there with his legs
Yeah.
crossed,
Yeah.
thinking like, "What am I going to say next? I'm not listening to a word of this."
Well, he goes, he's like, yeah, man. He's like, I really got into like Motley Crue during your first EP. And I'm thinking like, they didn't have first EP, right?
No,
No, it was just too
no.
fast maybe he was thinking too fast for love. He like misspoke. And then he's like, and then I came in on the second album, which was
Shout out the
Shout at the
devil.
Devil. And then he's like, I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but you guys basically wrote the same song over and over again. But I love that song. I wanted more of that. And fucking Tommy Lee is so like, what does he care? He's just like, oh, dude, that's so cool. Oh yeah, oh yeah. And he starts
All
talking
he
about
says.
he starts talking about Vince. I'm sure someone's gonna clip that up for sure. And he's talking about Vince Neil's voice. And he's like, yo, Jimmy Chamberlain loves Motley Crue. And he's like, you know what he says about Vince's voice? And Tommy's like, what, dude? And he's like, feline. And Tommy Lee's like, oh, dude, no way. He's like, that's so rad. And I'm just like, what is going on between these guys? Like,
Yeah,
it just like, yeah, it's just fun. And then I was reminded,
Tommy Lee is a cartoon character. He's
Tommy
just like,
Lee, at this point, when you hear him talk on the podcast, it sounds
yeah,
like his brain already crossed the street and he's like, he's not catching up to his thoughts. And that's
yeah.
what it sounds like.
I
And
tried when he was on Rogan.
yeah,
I I I put it on for a little while, and his like lip smacking. He kept like
he kept
smacking his
doing it.
lips. I
Yeah.
couldn't take more than like 10
Yo,
minutes of it. And then I was like, do I want to hear like 2 hours of the fucking Tommy Lee getting interviewed? I don't think I could
no,
do
no.
that.
So he kept doing that on the Corgan podcast, But at the very least, they talk about music. Every time I put Joe Rogan on, I'm reminded that he does not care about anything that the person's doing. He'll just be like, "Oh yeah, man, like you ever see this like lost civilization that they found in like Turkey? Some guy like he was talking about like he had Tim Robbins on. He's like, yeah, he's like some guy who was like lost his like chicken and he like fucking like was looking for it and he found this like underground thing where he lived in Turkey. And I'm like, just talk about Shawshank. I don't care about like I learned. I've been burned way too
Yeah,
many times. I'm like, I
yeah,
can't listen to your it. I can't listen to whatever free form thinking you're doing.
yeah,
Same thing with that Tommy Lee episode. I'm like, yo, just I'll look for clips for that. But Billy, at the
yeah,
very least, he's like, okay, everyone knows your story, so I'm just going to pinpoint certain things, and that's what he did. He's very methodical like that, and he, but it was just so funny. Like anytime he would just go like, I hope you don't take offense to this, but you're, like, and then he'll be like, he'll like slightly like backhand him, and Tommy Lee's like, oh, dude, that's so rad. Just like what?
he
And then
says rad every other word.
yeah, like, but he was smacking those lips the whole fucking time. And yeah,
His
it was
publicist needs to get him some chapstick or something because there's something like going on.
well, I'm reminded that he when Jimmy left the band for this album, Tommy Lee played drums on a Smashing Pumpkins record like 10 years ago. Effigy
Oh,
and I forget the one. And they talked about it and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm totally reminded by that." And he said that he was just like very passionate about his takes, like and he they were laughing because he was like, Tommy, he's like, I kept seeing you with your sticks. He's like, hey dude, he's like, why does this guy need so many takes? And he's like, because I don't want to like edit. Like basically he was just some people just go play drums and they're like, yo, you just make sense of that in the edit.
yeah.
And like Billy Corgan was like, nah, son, we ain't doing that. You're gonna fucking play one fucking full take, right?
What
Oh, we're
is he
not
out
doing it.
promoting his new Tommy Land Part Two
I
solo
think so,
album or
yeah.
something?
Yeah.
Have you heard that?
I heard some of it and I'm gonna pull it up actually because there was some like really interesting features on this Tommy Lee thing.
We can only
Um
hope a Methods of Mayhem
it's
follow
not
up
gonna
as
yeah.
well.
Okay, so he has Andrew McMahon, who I'm pretty sure this is the guy that's in something corporate and Jack's Mannequin. Like just like a regular like pop punk indie rock guy. So that's an interesting combination. Then Chad Kroger, who's the guy from
Nickelback.
Nickelback, right? Then he has a song with Joel Madden from Good Charlotte.
Yeah. I
Um,
listened to it just to out of morbid curiosity. It's about what you think it is.
I
Just
don't know
leave
who
it
these
at
people
that.
are.
Yeah.
Amazonica, Carl Bell. Then you have Andrew McMahon again, and then he has Nick Carter from the
Isn't
Backstreet
that,
Boys.
didn't that guy die? Oh,
That's
that's his
Aaron
brother.
Carter, yeah.
Yeah, Backstreet Boy.
Chad
That's
Tepper, I don't know who that is. But an interesting one here is Butch Walker. So I guess he just co-wrote a bunch of shit with these people. Butch Walker is, do you know anything about him?
no.
Big songwriter. So he's kind of like a Linda Perry, like a Desmond Child of the universe, done stuff with like Weezer, a whole bunch
Wait,
of
did they make a
people.
documentary about him?
I don't know, maybe.
Okay.
He was in a band called Marvelous 3, but he started off in a band called South Gang, and they had a minor hit called Tainted Angel. I think he was the bass player, but they were like a hair metal band that came in towards like the end of like the 80s.
Hmm.
But once that, they had that minor hit, once that dipped out, he went into like songwriting and then his bands Marvelous 3 and now he has like a big solo career and he's like a Desmond Child basically or Linda Perry. Like he just writes songs with people. But he started from his hair metal days.
Desmond Child put out an album too last week there.
Interesting
Interesting.
guy and I never knew that he co-wrote or wrote basically Living La Vida Loca.
Got money in the bank, baby.
All right, so let me talk real quick about some things that came out, which as far as music goes, and then we'll wrap it up. Um, ding, ding, ding. Let me pull up here. Oh, that fucking DJ Muggs and Questlove podcast episode.
Yeah, I
Very,
gotta listen to
very
it.
good. Very good. A lot of history in that. So some records that came out, Sincere Engineer, I always forget the goddamn name of the record. It's like Probable Clause. Yes. Just really cool stuff. I know I mentioned some of the singles before. This girl, Dana, she's basically the head of the band. They're from Chicago. Really good songwriting. Big fan of their stuff leading up to this album. This for me right now so far is like definitely in the front runner for rock album of the year. Another band that put out a record, Everything I Ever Saw, the Menzingers, forever one of my favorite bands. A band that just puts out unbelievable music. I'm gonna go see them at the Brooklyn Steel, no, Brooklyn Paramount with Hot Water Music in November. Their new record is pretty fucking fantastic. Um, I mentioned a while back when we played with the Co-Defendants, they have an album called Lifers. And it's such an interesting, I don't know if you listened to it yet.
No.
It's like a weird mixture. Like bands that genre bend are usually fucking terrible. Like I never want to listen to it. Like it just doesn't work. And
Mhm.
when we played with this band, they have someone who's been rapping, but he's also like a great guitar player and a great singer-songwriter. And they put together these songs and they put stuff together with Fat Mike from NoFX after he left NoFX. And well, anyway, the record's called Lifers and the band's called Co-Defendants. And it's just a mixture of a bunch of shit. They have a song with the DOC, which is interesting.
Hmm.
Um, there is the song Lifers I put on a playlist, and it's just great songwriting. I can't recommend it more. And I will say the NEMS album, the second one, right? So with Ron Browse, I Should Boom You Too came out. Pharaoh Monch is on there. ASAP Ferg, Buckshot's on there. That lead single Glock Talk is ignorant as fuck. We love that shit. Uh, the first record's fantastic, but yeah, this is some like real fucking like boom bap shit. So big fan of that. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it on the music front for this week.
Yeah, I'll talk real quick. As far as stuff coming out, we got the month of August here. I'm looking forward to the new Interpol. John Carpenter has a full length coming out
Oh, interesting.
next week, I think. Cathedral. He's been dropping singles. Rhapsody, she's great.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
got a record coming out next month. Inspect the Deck by himself, minus Czarface. He's got one coming out. Domi and JD Beck, they got their album comes out tomorrow. I'm very excited about that. They're like a, a drummer and a keyboard player. She plays melody with one hand, she plays bass lines with the other, a la Raymond Zarek of the Doors, and they do like a fusion of jazz. And if Aphex Twin was making jazz, that's what they'd be. Kid's an amazing drummer, so I'm looking forward to that.
I wanna
Uh,
I wanna talk with what you said, Czarface. That Frankie Pulitzer
oh yeah,
drop is wow. Like
I
Tom
didn't even
Hardy.
realize that was him until you pointed it out.
Yeah, pretty. I mean, because I think that's what he raps under. But yeah, Tom Hardy doing his fucking thing, and that first single is really good.
Yeah,
So
killer. Love everything they make, man. But
yeah, their beats are great.
and then in movies this month, we got the Ice Cream Man, Eli Ross coming out.
Yeah,
We got the End of Oak Street. I'm looking forward to that.
yeah, the dude from
Um,
you know who made that, right? The guy
yeah.
Under the Silver Lake.
Yes. Yeah.
It
So
follows.
that's gonna be killish. Tires comes back next month. Shane Gillis's show. And real quick before we sign off, because we always do these, sometimes we'll look back 40 years ago or whatever, this came out and stuff like that. I was just looking up shit. August 1986. Young Sam Hoyos has money for the movies every week. Okay. You've been sweeping your abuela's stoop or something because you're just a punk kid from Queens.
Yeah.
All right.
Everything
So
checks out.
you can go to one movie, August 1st, 1986, Friday the 13th, part six, Jason Lives and Howard the Duck comes out. Obviously, you're going to Jason. But when I get to the end of this month, what a loaded month. It's unbelievable. The following week, we got Transformers, the movie. Big deal as a kid. One Crazy Summer. She's got to have it.
Mm. Definitely would have seen Jason for sure.
And the following week, The Fly, Manhunter, and Armed and Dangerous.
Wow. I just put on Manhunter. Prime is just good for like random shit. So they got the was that Michael Mann movie, right? Michael
Yeah.
Mann. Just put it on in the background. I'm like, yeah, this is fucking great. Just let that shit ride out. So good.
And then the last week of the month, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and Night of the Creeps.
Wow.
Same weekend, bro.
Wow.
I mean, look back at the Fly, Friday the 13th, 6, One Crazy Summer. That's
Yeah.
1 month,
Yeah.
1986. I would have crushed the movie pass if I had that shit.
It's funny though. Like you look back at that and it's like, is it that much better or is it just like we've had 40 years to just absorb that? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear you. I
But
think it's you got to be real savvy now because there's you know content is sometimes more important than quality.
yeah.
So there's a shitload of movies in the multiplex, but some of them ain't worth a damn. But man, I thought that was like what a solid fucking month of films.
You've said it all.
Yes.
I think the next episode we'll hit the apps.
Yeah.
We'll hit the apps. We'll figure out what apps. Hold on. What apps we both have, and we'll just like pick a couple of things from. We'll have like an app recommendation, some like deep cuts.
All right.
If people wondering what to watch on IMDb. So, all right, man.
All right.
Uh, I gotta bounce.
Well,
Hopefully this
make sure
works.
you, yeah.
All
Later.
right. Later.